Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a special video doing a guest design layout for this month's mini load. If you're familiar with load, it's usually a month-long layout a day. Load stands for layout a day, where you get incredible prompts that I promise will take you outside your standard comfort zone of documenting, your celebrations and visits and trips and things like that. It'll actually ask you some questions that'll get you thinking about memories or just, I don't know. It's hard to imagine. I can't come up with the word, and you know me, it's seldom that I'm at a loss for words, but it'll get you, you'll become more introspective in the layouts that you do during load. And if that's not your jam, you don't have to, but it certainly is what happens to me. So I'm a guest design. This time, instead of a whole month, we're just doing a week. It's from the 7th to the 13th of July. And I'm actually making this video and doing this layout on the 5th of July, having just returned from a celebration of life trip with the whole family, myself, my son, James, and his 3 kids and a former stepdaughter, whom I consider my 4 grandkids. And we all piled into a rented SUV and went to visit some of the places and people that were very special to my husband, and doing this in his honor, and scattering ashes in these places, the special places, and kind of talking to other people or among ourselves about him. It was, I don't know the right word for it. Somehow I feel just a little bit slightly removed from the heavy grief. There's, sadness and, all of that, which I'm sure is apparent in my voice right now. But there's, I don't want to say that there's a sense of closure, because this will never be closed. But anyway, so I'm going to I took some of the photos from that trip, and I'm going to be documenting them in a mini book that I made in a Vicki Boutin class, and with color study. And color study is not travel related at all. So I actually had a chance to get some more of the Let's Wander collection, including this paper pad and some embellishments. So I have cut quite a few. Let me try to stop that ringing. That's coming from my laptop that's open. I've cut a few squares. I'm going to do a 3x3 grid, and the theme for this mini load is the number 7. So my prompt was based on the 7 wonders of the world. And so the prompt was, what are your 7 wonders, or the 7, places, people, things, whatever. So I've pulled 7 highlights, which happen to be 7 places that we did choose to scatter ashes on our special trip. So I have filtered, all of the photos. Like I said, I'm going to be documenting them in their natural form, kind of in more of a sequential, this is how the trip went, day by day kind of thing, in that mini book. This is a different presentation of them. So I filtered them, and there are some, I chose some papers. There's going to be this one orange paper in common on all of the squares, and I'm going to maybe load the squares up in order. I'm using a craft background. Let me see what I have here. I've kind of paired up some of the papers with photos, and then I'll kind of do something like that for there. So let me do the first things first. This is these were kind of stops along the way. I took photos of this Gulf sign because we met at Gulf Oil when I interviewed him for a job, and I was his boss for a year before we became an us. And so I wanted to take a photo of that. I think this is the one that may not have any orange unless I put it on the outside, because I do want these words. This says things to see and hear now and best trip. This best trip is going to end up being covered. So anyway, I'm going to kind of dry fit that there. The very next place that we went was Margaritaville Beach Hotel, and I thought and I photographed the sunset. That's kind of one of the 7 wonders of our vacation trips. I'm gonna dry fit that there. After Margaritaville, we went to Pleasure Pier in Galveston, which used to be the flagship hotel. That's where we honeymooned. Okay, so the next place we went, or the next place we saw, was Kemah, and this is a view taken from the Kemah boardwalk, looking back down the channel, and right on the other side of this bridge is a marina. You can't, in the natural photo, you can see the masts of the sailboats. You can see one right there. And we used to get in our sailboat and motor under through the locks under the bridge, and then through this channel out into into Galveston Bay and then the Gulf of Mexico. So there are some ashes in those waters. The next place, and I kind of want to leave, well, actually, this belongs here, and I'm going to leave a space here. And then I've got, this is our house in Pecan Grove Plantation. One of our kind of dream come true sorts of places. And this is kind of a dual thing. This was our garden right here, or the end of our garden right here, and then the golf course was here. We were on the 13th hole, or the 13th hole at the tee boxes. So we often tee off at the 13th hole and play through to the 18th, and then walk home in an evening and have dinner. So we landscaped all of this. Everything is very different. But the little insert photo here is a lake outside a favorite restaurant called the Swinging Door that was a barbecue place that that was really special to us. I'm going to actually move this down here. Let's see. I think I'm going to do it this way because these kind of go together. I think I'm going to put all 3 here. This is kind of on the road. We, spent the night there. We stayed quite a while. These stops were all while we were using Kima as home base. So I'll get this down. Then there's another. Okay, let's see. This is Lulu's. There is something missing here. Oh, the Astros game. I knew that. Okay, so this is something else that we did. I'm going to put this here and this here. Yeah, like that. And then these will be, let's see, I'll put this one here, and I can't put the house one there. I'll have to put that there and that there. And on these, I'll do the orange kind of on the outside, and then I'll select some embellishments. So that's kind of going to be my grid. So let me get these things glued down on here so that they're not moving, and then I'll put this, back there. And I don't have anything here from the Woodlands. We went up and met with friends in the Woodlands and didn't take any photos at the gatherings of friends because it was kind of a you wouldn't take photos at a funeral. We took pictures of James visiting his high school friends because they weren't part of a, kind of a memorial service, if you will. Okay, I'm going to do this, and just to add a little bit of interest, I'm gonna do some stapling, and then I will put let's see where we are here. This is my first layout back home, and it's a little, things are a little, messed up. Anyway, this is sunset at the Margaritaville Beach Hotel. Let's see, I'm gonna let some orange show above and below, but I do want the sunglasses to be obvious. I'll do this because you can kind of tell there. Well, how about, gosh, I wish I had one where if I did that, could you tell that that's what that is? I'll just have to let it be upside down. And I don't have another square of that. How about the other side of this? Let's see if there's a good, okay, that one works better because you can see that. Pair of sunglasses, okay, and then I'll turn this one over here. Okay, and now I'm gonna tack that onto there. Get this here. And I can always, it's not so, okay, and I'll have this one be down and below. This is kind of to indicate that we visited water and homes, old homes, places we lived. So that's kind of what that symbolizes there. And here, I can move this over a bit. And I'm okay with in this case, the sunglasses are square. the photo is not squared. I'm going to put some embellishments on there. So here I kind of want to see, I want to have the photo squared with the waves, the wavy paper. Kind of, but I'll have the orange kind of wonky. I'll choose my own wonkiness. Okay, is that right? Actually, let me unglue this one. Well, you know what? I'm duplicating things. This is awfully close to that, but when it's embellished, it's going to look very different and you're not going to pay attention to that. Is that right? Just say yes. The correct answer is, sure, go ahead, Kathy, you got it. And repeat after me. And as I am using this, I'm remembering how much I loved this collection when it was new. And I have no idea where I'm going to put a title. It's going to kind of be around here somewhere, and it's going to have the number 7. And I think that's the idea. Okay, this one let's see. I'll let this one kind of be sticking out a little bit over here, and it can stick off of the background there. I just want it to look fairly random. But with some sense of order, and you get that sense of order from the grid. I'm gonna do this one kind of up high like that, and then I can maybe do some embellishing right there. We did not make it to, I had grand visions of spending time downtown in Houston and taking the train that was right outside our loft down to the old Astrodome. And we didn't have time for that. There were so many things that were on my, agenda, if you want to call it that, my itinerary, that just didn't quite happen. And that was okay. Everything that what we did on the trip, everything that mattered was perfect, and we spent time with special people. And where's my other orange? I'm missing an orange square, so I'm going to have to cut another one. I think it was exactly 3 by 3. So how did that happen? I guess I used 2 3 by 3, or 2 3-inch strips, and there were 4 in each, so that was only 8, and I have 9 thingamajiggers. Okay, so this I'm gonna kind of do like that, have it hanging down. I love this colorful pink sunbursty kind of thing. Let's see how that works. There we go. I think when you staple onto things, it kind of makes it look like they randomly fell there and you tacked them down. Okay, so there's my grid. And I will not make you suffer through all of this. My 7 wonders were Sunset in Margaritaville, the Galveston Pleasure Pier, first of all, Signs of Our Times, and, Gulf Oil where we met, and Pensacola Beach sign and water tower, which John painted a picture of that water tower. So there's going to be a page about that where I'll have a photo of the water tower, and then I'll have his painting. I'll have a picture of him all dirty from his painting. And so the Kemah Bridge Channel from Clear Lake Shores Marina to Galveston Bay, Lulu's Gulf Shores, which is here. So I will have all this on when I post it on social media, but here on the YouTube video, it's not going to make it on there. So I have pulled from the embellishment packs quite a few things that I might use, but I kind of want to first figure out where and how to do the title. So what I've got is I've got this little thing here that says Some Kind of Wonderful, and I could fussy cut out wonderful. There's A Trip to Remember, which would be a nice thing. I could cut this off and say, I could put this says Grand Adventure. I could fussy cut out Grand Adventure, and I could put 7, and then I could put an S on there. So maybe let's try to do that. Let's see how that might work. That appeals to me a lot. Let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to keep that star. And I'm going to keep these stars, and then I'll cut down in to get rid of My Life is a. Let's see how this works. Okay, so if I want to do it here, I've got room for that S. And let me do some foam behind it so that it's raised. And then let me put the 7 there, and I'm going to, right now I'm going to use it in its black and white form, but after it's all, the layout is all done, I'm going to maybe decide if there's a color it needs to be. And I'm thinking right now, I might like to repeat this yellow, and there's a yellow in there, so I may color it yellow. There's also this yellow here, so I've kind of got yellow throughout that sort of is almost an accent color. Okay, let's see if I can find the pen to do the S on here. And I'm going to do it in this black pen, which I know is going to let me do it with a pencil, actually, and then I'll go over it with a permanent pen that can write on a glossy surface. I forget what you call those, but I have a collection of them, and I use them for this kind of thing. But I kind of want to put that on there, and it's going to be kind of a, let me see if this, there you go. Okay, that looks like it was actually printed on there with this. So I'll let that dry, and it may be okay, but I'm going to go over it with that permanent marker anyway. So this is kind of moving around. I'm going to do that to keep it still, and then we'll use some other embellishments around in here. There's this embellishment which is kind of large, and yet I like it. That's kind of moving around too. Let me lift that up. There. I think I'm going to use it I want it up here, kind of like we're driving in front of these houses, but it's okay that it's overlapping the pool there. So I kind of want to do it that way. And that brings that green that's in so many other places out there. Let me get some foam behind the little sign here. Here and here. When I got home, my printer wasn't working, and I was afraid I might have to, worst case, replace it. But second to worst case would be erase it and reload the drivers, which is kind of a pain. It's doable, but it's kind of a pain. Okay, this is a Bramble Fox perspective, and this is a charm that's just a beautiful kind of shiny champagne sort of color, and I do not have any twine here with me, but I thought maybe using that somewhere there might work, but I don't like the way it looks. So here, maybe with the twine there. So I'm going to kind of just leave it there for a minute. I've got travel is my therapy, good sentiment, but not going to work for this. I've got this guest check, which is kind of a nod to the fact that the kids were actually complaining that we were always going to restaurants. Now, I don't know what they expected on a 9-day trip away from home, but I bet I can kind of sneak it in right under there. Let me do that, because it just kind of fits. Okay, there. And one of the things that we did in the Clear Lake area was get ice cream at a shop that is owned, a shop called the Cool Cow, that's owned by a friend of James's from high school. So maybe somewhere there. I don't want to cover up the bridge at all. And it was kind of just a little sort of side thingy that we did. It was wonderful. She had a, I forget, goat cheese and fruit or something, like raspberry or something. It was really amazing. And we got to spend time with her, and it turns out that she and I are possibly cousins. I've got the This Makes Me Happy, but I kind of wanted to use it over here. With the picture of everybody over here at Minute Maid Park. So I'm just going to kind of let it bridge those two photos. That works. I've got a camera here. I think I'm going to take a smaller camera. And I've got this sailboat sticker. I like this camera, and I'm going to, where would the camera be? It could fit here because this is all just decking. So that one is a little too big. Let me do this. I wonder. I don't like covering up all of the square, and this doesn't really hide too much there. Note to self that double staples, even double, doesn't really, hold things. The yum food, another nod to all of the restaurant eating that we did. Maybe, but I don't want to, I want a sailboat here. I think this sailboat is maybe too big unless I put it like that. How's that? That kind of works for me. I do like the size of that sailboat. And that kind of looks, the hull of that sailboat looks very much like the boat that we leased back in those days. Okay, so I've got that there. The ice cream is kind of up. The sailboat is kind of down. This yum could maybe, let me kind of cut that so that I do have the fork and the picture of the food. It doesn't matter if the word yum shows or not. Okay, I've got a fork here, but we've got that fork there, so I think we're good. The treat yourself, we don't really need. The P.S. don't forget to have fun kind of works right here, and that's sort of appropriate for there was a lot of reminiscing and about James's childhood and both between the two of us and among all of his friends. And the kids kind of, weren't entirely 100% interested in all of that. So they were interested in fun, but by their definition of fun. And so we kind of had to make some adjustments along the way. All right, this is another camera, and I thought maybe it could go here because this is the only photo that has any people in it, any of our people. And Ava's not in it because Ava doesn't do photos these days. But we tried not to let that bother us. We always ask her, and if she was violently against it, we didn't push it. So I'm just going to kind of lay that right there. And I'm just right now kind of embellishing with things that have some sort of meaning, but also to fill in where there may be some spots that could use balance, let's say. So I really like this arrow, and I'm maybe gonna do that there. Oops, it is pretty close to stuck. I really don't want it there because it was then too close to this camera. Kind of maybe could use something up here. I'm doing this. Okay, this weekend getaway is what Margaritaville was for us. We'd make long weekends. Okay, I followed my heart and it led here. Maybe there or there. There's let's shop, let's eat, let's drink, let's do it all. Let's shop, certainly that was done at the, well, in all the places. Can't wait to go back. And I will be going back to the Woodlands, to our home there, and do a little thing on my way somewhere else. There's something that says photo op. Let's see. I'm here for the food, which would be you know, ironically funny. Where else? I don't have anything here. I'm gonna say that doesn't work. I need to leave room for the little strips of journaling. So there's a Bon Appetit sticker right here, and since this was at the restaurant, I think it might work there. And the story behind that is that when James was little, we took him there to that restaurant, and we sat in, it's one of those restaurants that started out tiny and then just kind of got added onto. So there are some, you know, rooms that don't necessarily make sense. But there was one of them that allowed a view out to this big palm tree, or these palm trees, and this little lake, and there were ducks and geese in there. And we could sit inside while we were waiting for the food to come, and we could watch him as he was playing out in the... Okay, that needs to kind of curl up there. Okay, there. And then now I'm going to kind of put some hearts around, maybe one right here and one kind of underlapping that one right there, kind of picking up on some of the red that's in these picnic tables. This is Lulu's is a great seafood restaurant, and it's right on a channel, and boats come by, and we usually sat right next to the channel and, you know, waved to the guys in the boats, and we had a chance to do that this time too. Let's see, what else do I want to do here? Let's see, famous landmark. Yes, that's the one that I wanted to use here. Let me get a strip here. This is a famous landmark in that it was back in the heyday of Galveston, back when it was the, you know, the destination for wealthy people and organized crime and gambling, but, you know, who cares? This pier was a pleasure pier. Then it was torn down by one hurricane. I think it was Hurricane Carla in the 60s. So it was rebuilt as a hotel, the flagship hotel. It was out over water. It was, you know, just quite nice. So John and I honeymooned there in 1981. Then Hurricane Ike came by in 2008, which was the year that we retired and moved to Georgia. So while we were moving to Georgia, or just after we'd moved to Georgia, Hurricane Ike came through and damaged the hotel beyond repair. So the guy who, a Galveston developer who has been responsible for the restoration of many things in the Galveston area, actually rebuilt it back as a pleasure pier. I'm still trying to use this. If this were just a little bit smaller, but I think I have somewhere in here, it seems, yeah, there is. This globe is actually bigger than that one, so that's not so good. I could use this in the neighborhood across here, but I kind of, unless I have something that's particularly, well, this says favorite things to do, but it's similar in style to this, and I just don't want to do that. What else can I do over here at the Gulf? Let's see, I've got a heart and a flower. Maybe I could do that, and then let me do see if there's a chipboard heart. There is no chipboard heart, so let me go back and find a different heart. This pink one is cute. If I could have found an orange one, it would go better with the Gulf sign, but you know, you take what you can get. So I'll kind of do this. And then I think I'm going to put this up on foam, and it'll be my only flower on here. Okay, so that's embellished there. My travel journal, maybe right here. Okay, I kind of don't hate that. And I may be done. Maybe getting very close to done. Do that there. Okay, So I'm going to add these little things wherever they will fit in, which means I'll have to do some, cutting and measuring and stuff. I'm going to color this yellow, but I'm probably going to leave this open because I like the water, which is kind of reflective of the water here, and you really don't see it on there. And I think I may print a sign for here that says the Kokomo Tour, because I just feel like the side of this car is asking for something like that. This could maybe go there, because it's really the sunset that I'm capturing, so that'll work, because the 2021 Kokomo Tour. Okay, so this is it. I'm not going to use this June, even though the colors might be right. Not going to use this. Not going to use anything else that I have around here. I think we're done. So thank you for watching. Sorry, this was kind of a little bit of a mess, but now you know the story of at least these 7 places. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure you'll see more about the Kokomo Tour. And check out LOAD at scraphappy.org if you're interested in it. I know every time I mention LOAD, I get lots of questions about what it is and how you can participate, and it's just a blast. I love it. It's my very first experience with scrapping to prompts. It's my very first challenges I ever did, and also my very first scrappy group of online friends. So that makes it more even there. So okay, and I'm going to put a ribbon on this, and then I'll glue it down here, maybe kind of off center like that. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.